Hey guys, what's going on? I just want to share with you real quick my ideas for an X pipe for the OBS back there, because I got to redo the exhaust, but it's going to take a little bit of work. So essentially I'm going to cut these two and put them together, and that's going to be my X pipe basically. I'll have two more U-shaped pieces that I'll cut in half, so I have four 90s basically, and I'll put a 90 at each one. And that will be the X pipe, and then I just got to make all the connecting tubing. I've got to adjust one of the cat. And this cat is hanging way too low. It actually rubbed on the concrete out there when I drove it, or either the cat or that piping, but it looks like the edge of that cat's lower than the piping. So I'm just gonna cut a little pie cut out of it, and add a little pie cut into it, I should say, and flip it sideways so it's laying on its side and going straight. But I also got to remake the cross member first. I'm just going to do a regular old piece of bar so the pipe can go over that. And I also got to move the fuel lines that I just put in. So it's kind of a lot of work, which makes it a little bit of a ways away. But for now, what I can do is just go to the junkyard and find a piece I can cut off with the Sawzall, and we'll match right up to that out of a Yukon or some truck like that. It'll probably only be a few bucks, and that'll give me some tubing to work with to, you know, bring that exhaust out here a little more so we can clean up that air. But now it's time to eat, and my display quit working, so I just use this thing. 235 down there. About two. So let's see. The food's looking around 200. The potatoes. Those are a little under 150. I think we're about done. Yeah, let's probe the inside. I got like 145 there for a sec. Ooh, we're getting close. No, we're stuck at 149. There's 150. Hey everybody, what's going on? Alan here. Welcome to Gibson's Garage and Speed Shop. I am gonna change the name. Right now it just says Gibson Garage Speed Shop. It sounds like a 3-year-old trying to speak, but we'll get it taken care of. In this video, we gotta fix the Suburban. I went to go get it smogged and it didn't pass. Surprise, surprise. If you've been following along, you'll remember that I put the intake manifold and the throttle body that I had bored out and and shaved and like souped up with 18-pound injectors and an adjustable fuel pressure regulator. So just like it was doing in the black truck, it's dumping too much fuel also. Even though it's a 350, I think the cam is hurt. I think the engine's hurt, but I've got a backup. For now, we need to get by for the next 2 years and pass smog. So I'm going to swap the injector pod out for the old one that was in there. And the second problem was that the exhaust pipe, I forgot that I didn't even finish the tailpipes. I kind of stopped building the exhaust at the axle and didn't give it tips. So I've got enough to do the driver's side. Or no, that's the passenger side. So we'll get one done, and then don't worry, I got parts on the way. We're gonna do stainless exhaust on the pickup truck here soon, and maybe also finish the Suburban exhaust up too. These are the pieces I have left. It's 2.5-inch aluminized steel, and this piece was part of the pickup project, but I've changed my mind on how I'm doing that. I'm no longer going to single exhaust. I did have single exhaust on it when I had the 305 on it, but new motor, new exhaust. So this we can just cut up and use for scraps. I can cut it like right there, and then it'll give me, you know, two little pieces with that bend that I can use. For the passenger side, this is where I stopped. It stops right there. Let's see, can we see it? It's a little windy out here, guys. I'm super sorry. It's kind of sprinkling on and off, but I need to just continue that outward, and I'm going to run along the tank along the bottom of the frame And that's pretty much it. That's all I'm trying to do in this video for the exhaust, just so he can stick a sniffer up in there, because you can't get a sniffer up in there. Was another problem. Alright, that's what I'm cutting off, about 1.5 inches, just to get rid of the bend. Alright, well, that's step 1 done. Step 2 is to cut one of these U pieces right in half to make them a 90. All right. This is just like that, pretty much. Looks like it's going to be along the bottom of the tank. It's a little lower than I wanted it to be, but it's all right. There's 2 out of the 3 pieces that I'm going to be making to continue the passenger side. Third piece will just be a straight pipe coming right off of that. For now, let's get these 2 tacked together. Now let's turn the gas on. There it is. A little bit of extra black spray paint there. I don't care, it'll burn off. Now I just gotta weld it on. Sorry about the wind noise, guys, but I'm gonna have to work through it. Let's see if I can get this tacked up here on my own. Alright, time to weld her up. No, thank you, yes welder. Not a bad little machine. But I am out of gas. So one side is done and the other side is not. But that's good enough for the girls we're dating. Right? This is what it looks like on the side view. I want to put just a little turn down, but that's a later day. Alright, with one exhaust tip finished, we can finally move around to the front because we are out of gas and metal to do the other exhaust tip. I might have enough metal. That could be enough. I could probably make it work with that, but I don't know. But yeah, either way, we're out of gas. So we're going to move on to the front of the engine where we can try to swap out that injector pod. Then we'll go take it down to the smog shop and see what they say. First I want to take this old one off and give the one in the truck time to relieve its pressure. So to get just the pod off, actually we're going to have to remove these 2 adapters first. And before you do this, make sure you got some spare gaskets. I think these ones are like the plastic ones, yeah. And on the inside, you'll need the rubber ones. Yeah. So these hopefully won't be damaged to a point where you can't reuse them, but the rubber ones usually damaged every time. There we go. So now I just need to pull the one off the truck, off the Suburban. these off. I think it's simpler than doing the whole throttle body. Either way, you have to undo the lines. And these shouldn't be super tight, so you don't really need a line wrench for these, or flare nut wrench. It is about to leak a lot. Oh, and by the way, here's the business. All right, that's a jet billet adjustable fuel pressure regulator. I have it turned down pretty much all the way, but I don't know. I don't really want to mess with it right now. I'll just swap it out. But the injectors are too large too, so it's probably a combining factor. Might as well just avoid more trips than necessary. And I think I already went through this once when it was on the black pickup. I had to swap it with the one I'm swapping it now, which was then the Suburbans. Well, yeah, as you can see, it's shaved. They're bored out, both the intake and the throttle body. So the butterflies have been, new butterflies have been put in there. Those could be butterflies from like a 454, but the throttle body would be different itself. So it's not just like a 454 throttle body. But this thing is about to come out. Oh, and you can see the double Talls injector pod spacer. All right, that's always cool. Helps that fuel atomize just a little more. There we go. I'll set this guy over here. And we'll grab this one. You can see now those O-rings are no bueno. So replace those. Maybe. I don't know. If they don't leak, I'm not going to replace them. Oh, what a good guy, following the rules. All right, back together. Let's start it up and see if there's any leaks real quick. I'm wondering too if it'll idle down a lot faster since it's not dumping as much raw fuel, hopefully. Okay, that was a little too much idling down. Oh, we got a leak. Oh, we got a leak. Damn it. That's still leaking pretty good. Dang, I'm gonna have to replace those O-rings. With the leak taken care of, we can go get this thing smogged and hope, cross our fingers it passes. Well, we're at the smog shop just in time. It's getting late and it's starting to rain. Cross your fingers. Well, we're back from the smog shop and it did not pass smog. I am actually a little bit surprised. I didn't expect that to happen. But I think I know what the problem is because it didn't have the problem before. It's the old, it's the other MSD stuff off of the black pickup, I think. Either the coil and or spark plugs, because it'll run fine and the parts per million will stay below 100. It kind of fluctuates a lot though, and it's like a little bit above, a little bit below, and then there's a miss. Then it shoots up to like almost 300 parts per million every once in a while. And if it does that during a test, it'll gross pollute it. So we can't have that. So I'm thinking tune-up and an oil change, and I think I might get rid of, I don't know, I'm going to start with the spark plugs. But if it still does that weird miss once in a while and the fluctuation, then I'm going to change out that MSD blaster coil that has been in, I've had that for so many years now. It used to be on the black truck too, but we'll see. We'll start with spark plugs and an oil change, and cap and rotor should be good. They're in great condition, and then the distributor is stock, right? So we'll start there. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I appreciate it so much for you watching and supporting the channel. It helps out a lot. My numbers are going up again, finally, after like a year. They're starting to go up again, so it kind of hurts to make a crappy little video like this with no real progress, but it makes it mean that much more to me that you like and subscribe and hit the bell. And until next time, peace.